I'm an indecisive overthinker. At least, I think I am. Anyways, I'm sure many of you are the same, considering 57% of women and 43% of men are overthinkers. Of course, this may not be you, but you'll certainly run into someone like this eventually, so you can learn a little something from this as well. You might believe that thinking intensely about certain situations isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what I mean is ruminating and dwelling over every possible situation ever. This type of overthinking is what I'm talking about, and it sucks. Honestly, taking 4 hours to decide what to have for lunch just to realize it's dinner time already is a rough reality to live. We can all agree that ruminating over every possible situation, trying to figure out how we could have changed the outcome, rarely leads to any type of progress. And repeatedly dwelling on any minor inconvenience, trying to figure out how we could have made it better, is just exhausting. Plus, constantly overthinking and worrying will not do anything to change the outcome. That's the honest truth. If we keep staying, dwelling, and overthinking in our mind, we will lose sight of what we're currently living and have the ability to control. Honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, we should all make the effort to stop overthinking, because in the end, overthinking takes away from living. First of all, overthinking, believe it or not, will directly affect your health, both mentally and physically. Let's talk mentally. Obviously, overthinking will have a negative effect on your mental health. Conditions like stress, anxiety, and even depression are strongly linked to overthinking. According to the American Psychology Association, people who ruminate are 15% more likely to suffer with depression. Also, replaying the causes, factors, and consequences of everything are for sure going to cause a state of panic. And when your mind is in a state of panic, the rest of your body will probably follow. Even being so agitated can cause your sleep to be affected. This can also be described by the term monkey mind, which is, in other words, your brain not wanting to shut up. This may come as a surprise to some, but your mind is a very powerful thing. It controls your entire being. So when something wrong is going on up there, the rest of your body will eventually follow. So much vital energy is used from overthinking that it can take away from the energy needed to perform necessary bodily functions like digestion and even breathing. This is why this state of panic can cause a buildup of carbon dioxide in the lungs, passing out, and a weakened digestive system. Overall, just an unhealthy state that you don't want to end up in. The second reason you should stop overthinking now is because it will inevitably lead to unhappiness in your life. Constantly overthinking and worrying will definitely put a strain on close relationships. This strain can be followed by toxicity, and if you don't try to change your mentality, your relationship could end in a really poor manner. By always being worried and on edge, you become the person that no one wants to be around because you're so difficult to deal with. Not only is it exhausting for you, but it becomes exhausting for those around you as well. Your energy and problem-solving ability will be completely used up in your head instead of using the time and energy to communicate with the people around you who are involved and who actually matter. If you keep dwelling and staying stuck in your own mind, you won't be able to find a positive solution, execute it, and obtain closure. The third and final reason you should stop overthinking is because it's a waste of time. By replaying every situation over and over, you spend your time worrying instead of living. In the end, worrying will only lead to more overthinking. And eventually, you'll find yourself in a vicious cycle of overthinking and then worrying and then overthinking because you're worried and then worrying because you're overthinking, and you just need to stop. You need to breathe. Take a look around you and realize what life has to offer. Realize what you're missing out on when you're spending all your time worrying about what hasn't, wouldn't, couldn't, and won't happen. In life, things happen. We need to accept them, reap the consequences, and move on. It's all we can do. We can't do anything to change the inevitable, and we can't control what others will do and decide. However, we can control our reaction to keep us calm and bring us the most peace of mind. Overall, stopping to overthink will lead to more mental clarity and a simpler life. Insignificant or enormous, any action or decision taken by someone else is uncontrollable on our part. Moreover, we have the power to control how we react to these choices. Therefore, this is what we should try and focus on instead of spending our life imagining scenarios that may or may not happen. If you continue to overthink, you'll just create mental clutter that eventually you'll have no choice but to clean up. Now, what I want you to take away from all this is not to worry that your overthinking caused a buildup of carbon dioxide in your lungs and that you're about to fall into a coma. It's to try and focus on your reaction and actions following someone's decision rather than trying to come up with situations in your mind. Life will be so much simpler when you realize that you can obtain complete control over your mind and body. Although we all get the feeling of an uncontrollable force that's taken over our mind, we need to fight the urge to let it take over our entire being and be stronger than it. By overcoming the urge to overthink, you can use this time to focus on your mind and well-being. You can take this time to show your gratitude to those around you who make life good. You can focus on you right now, in this moment. It's all we really have. Do this and become a person that people want to be around. Do this and become the person that you would want to be around. Thank you.